Between 1650 and 1730, the Atlantic Ocean belonged to no king, no empire, no navy. It belonged to them. Outlaws, outcasts, men who had looked at the world's rules and burned them to the ground. They called this era the Golden Age of Piracy, and before it was over, it would terrify every empire on Earth. To understand why piracy exploded in this era, you must first understand the world that created it. The late 1600s were an age of empire. Spain, England, France, and the Netherlands were carving up the known world between them, their ships crossing oceans laden with gold, silver, spices, and slaves. The Caribbean had become the most profitable stretch of water on Earth. And where there is extraordinary wealth, there will always be those willing to take it. Most pirates did not choose the sea out of romance or adventure. They were driven to it. Sailors who had survived years of brutal conditions under the Royal Navy, flogged, starved, and paid almost nothing. Former soldiers left without income when wars ended. Escaped slaves and indentured servants with nowhere left to run. These were not monsters born, they were men, broken by a world that had already discarded them. What few people know is that pirate ships were, in many ways, more democratic than any nation on Earth at the time. Pirates elected their captains. They voted on targets. They drew up written agreements called articles that outlined each man's rights, his share of plunder, and even compensation if he lost a limb in battle. In an age of absolute monarchy and brutal class hierarchy, a pirate ship was something radical, something almost revolutionary. Their hunting grounds stretched from the Caribbean islands, Nassau, Tortuga, Port Royal, to the eastern coast of America, the coast of West Africa, and the Indian Ocean trade routes. Nassau in the Bahamas became their unofficial capital, a lawless port where pirates careened their ships, spent their plunder, and planned their next raids. At its peak, Nassau harboured over 1,000 pirates. It was, by every definition, a pirate republic. From this golden era emerged names that history would never forget. Bartholomew Roberts, who captured over 400 ships and dressed for battle in a crimson coat. Anne Bonny and Mary Read, women who fought alongside men in an age that gave women no rights whatsoever. Samuel Bellamy, the Prince of Pirates, who gave stolen goods back to the poor. And Edward Teach, the man the world would come to know simply as Blackbeard. But empires do not surrender their oceans without a fight. By 1715, Britain had had enough. The Royal Navy was dispatched with one mission: exterminate piracy entirely. Woodes Rogers, a former privateer turned governor of Nassau, arrived in 1718 with a simple offer: accept the king's pardon or hang. Most accepted. Those who refused were hunted down one by one. The Golden Age was ending, and it would end in blood. The Golden Age of Piracy lasted less than a century, but in that time it shook the foundations of every empire on Earth, gave birth to legends that have never died, and asked a question that still echoes today. In a world built on greed and inequality, who are the real criminals? This has been the Shadow Codex. The next chapter is already waiting.